Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to my channel. Today's reading is titled Messages from the Trees. This reading is extra special because it is a collaboration with Mala's Verse. So whenever you're done watching my reading, please go and check her reading out, and that will be in my description. This is also going to be a podcast style reading, so you will not see the cards, you will not see my face, but you will hear my lovely voice. I have 3 piles for you to choose from. You are welcome to pick more than one, but please pick using your intuition. I'm going to give you all a second to pick, and then we're going to go ahead and get started with pile number 1. Alrighty, we're going to go ahead and get started with pile number 1. So if you chose pile number 1, this is your reading. Pile number 1, the trees want to tell you to let go of what burdens you. Don't allow people to live in your head rent-free. Liberate your mindset or liberate your mindsets. So pile number 1, the trees want to tell you to let go of anything that is not serving your highest good. Let go of things that are keeping you stagnant instead of things that help you to grow and to overflow. So let's get into these cards and see the messages that the trees have for you, pile number 1. So the first card that we have for you, pile number 1, is the Devil card. So this is showing me that there's things that maybe you're not fully aware of that take place behind the scenes, like certain patterns that take place in your relationships. So it may not be something that visibly takes place, but energetically and spiritually and emotionally it's taking place. So where you have these unhealthy ties and this codependent energy to people who don't serve you any good, to people who don't give you anything of substance, anything of value. So the trees want to tell you to let go of people who don't do anything but run up your bills because that's how it's coming through, very, very blunt. And the trees, they're asking you, what do you need to release? And they're asking you, like, what do you even want as it pertains to romantic and platonic connections? Because the trees want to let you know, pile number 1, that you've settled. You've settled for so many different personalities and energies, and instead of getting clear on the type of friends you want or the type of romantic partners you want, you've just accepted anybody and anything, and it's clouded your energy. So the trees want you to cut the cords with these people because it's not really the people that you have an attachment to, it's the feeling of what it could have been that you have an attachment to, pile number 1. The next card we have is the Ace of Swords, and it's funny because in this card there's literally a big sword. So there's an emphasis on cutting cords. So pile number 1, maybe you should look up cord cutting rituals, cord cutting exercises, maybe do some research and read some books on how you can clear people's energy, because even if you delete somebody off social media or you cut somebody out of your life, that energy can still be lingering in the shadows, okay? So the trees want to let you know, excuse me, the trees want to let you know that you are worthy of so much more, and you are worthy of high quality friendships, high quality relationships. You do not have to entertain low vibrational people and low vibrational energies and entities, okay? You don't have to go through that. You don't have to settle for that. The trees are letting you know, pile number 1, that there's more out there. There's so much more out there. The next card that we have is the 7th house. So the 7th house is about our relationships. And the trees specifically want you, pile number 1, to go and look at your birth chart. Go look at your birth chart and see the sign, the degree, and the planets that are associated with your 7th house so that you can see what types of people you like or what types of people you attract. So you can get better at ruling out what you want in a friend or what you want in a partner versus what you don't want. because I get here that you just accepted so many people and you've tried to mold them into what you want them to be instead of just accepting who they are and accepting that they can't give you what you want, pound number one. So the trees are wanting you to be honest about these connections that you're in. These people can't give you what you want, nor can you mold them into something that they can never be. It's like this, it's like I don't know why I'm getting this analogy, pound number one, but just bear with me. So spirit is showing me like the story of Cinderella. Remember when the two stepsisters thought they could fit the shoe and they just couldn't? Like that's the energy. It's like you can't if something is not meant for somebody, it's not. Like they weren't meant to have that shoe. They couldn't fit the shoe. So it's like the mold that you're trying to put people in, they cannot fit into that, pile number one. That's what the trees want you to know, and that's what they want you to realize. You're worth more. You don't have to settle for toxic and petty friendships, friendships full of drama, friendships where it's one sided, friendships where they don't tell you how they feel, but they talk behind your back, relationships where, your partner is not telling you how they feel, but they're telling their friends and family and slandering your character. Like, you've been through a lot of this, pile number one. You've put up with so much for the sake of love, but is it really love? That's what the trees want to ask you. Is it really love? Because this could be current situations, but I'm really getting pound number one that this is past energy. This is the past energy that's still lingering. And the trees want to bring it to your attention because I feel like you're somebody who sits under trees a lot, or you've cried under trees, or you've been around a lot of trees. So they're familiar with your energy, pound number one. And it's like they they want you to be happy. They want you to have people in your life who really truly see you, who really truly hear you, who really truly value you, because that is what you give to other people. You come into their life and you see them, you hear them, you value them. Don't you think you deserve that back? The next card we have is Aries. So it's time for a new beginning. It's time for you to think about relationships in a new way. What do you need? Because you're always wanting to be the provider, pile number one. You're always wanting to be the one that is going above and beyond to prove that they're worthy of being loved, to prove that they're solid, to prove that they're loyal. But what about what other people are proving to you? Do other people go out of their way to show you that they want to be a part of your life? These are questions that the trees are asking you, pound number one. Okay. Some of these trees, are very, very ancient, but they're coming through very, very nurturing. So it's like, it's motherly in a way. So that's why these questions are coming through like that, pound number one. It's all love. The next card we have is transformation. So the trees want you to transform your mindset, liberate your mindset on how you think relationships should operate. Because I kept channeling for some reason, like as I was channeling messages for you, pile number one, I kept getting like Krishan and Blueface. I don't know why, but that was coming through. So it's like you may have had friendships and relationships that mimic that kind of energy, that love and hate type of energy, or that obsession type of energy, or that energy where one person is controlling the other. So the trees want you to cut that pattern off, cut those energies off so that you can attract better. If you want people in your life to love you, pal number one, you got to love you. And you have to do that by letting go of people who don't love you and letting go of those patterns and letting go of identifying with it, because that's what keeps you stuck, because you're identifying with it. Pile number one. You don't have to identify with any of this, because the things that these people have put you through and have projected onto you, that's not who you are. And that's not where your story ends. Okay, pile number one, that is not where your story ends. Like, your story is not that you were ruined by other people. That's not your story. So stop ending it there. Stop closing the book and saying that, oh, well, that's all I'll ever be, is this person that was conquered by so many people. Like, no, that's not who you are. We've all had our fair share of being hurt and taken advantage of, but that's not defining us. That's defining the other person, because they put us through that. So pile number one, the trees want you to stop blaming yourself for things that you didn't do to yourself. Okay. The next card we have is happiness. So we were talking about this. They want you to be happy. And there's some dolphins here. There's 2 dolphins. They want you to be happy with people who are on the same level as you mentally. Pal number 1, I feel like you have entertained people who are not on your level. That's what the problem is. Intellectually, emotionally, spiritually, a lot of the people you've entertained romantically and platonically are just not there. And that's why I was getting that energy of, like, you trying to mold them. It's like you're trying to teach them 10 years worth of knowledge in 6 months. That's not gonna happen. I get here, Pound Number 1, you're somebody who does study, you learn and you grow, and you teach people the things that you know, but some people don't wanna learn what you know, Pound Number 1, because believe it or not, a lot of people don't wanna be happy. They don't. It seems like they do, but they don't, because if they truly did, they would take action to do that. A lot of people leave their happiness up to other people and blame it on other people while they're not happy, but it's like you're the one who's in control of your life. So, pile number 1, the message here from the trees is that in order to cultivate your own happiness, it has to begin within. And you have to know that you are whole with and without a friend. You are whole with and without a romantic partner. Like, other people don't make or break you. Pile number 1. Okay. The next card we have is Mars. So the trees want to tell you that you don't need to be in connections in relationships with people who want to be at war with you, who want to start drama with you, who want to gossip about you. You don't need to be involved with those kind of people, because when people do that to you, when they get mad, that's who they are. People shouldn't slander your character or damage your property, or literally, like, this is literally like them going to war with you because they were mad, because they were triggered. We are all adults, pal number 1, and there are more healthy ways to cope with anger. There are healthy ways to deal with conflict. And these people that you've been associated with cannot do that. So therefore, they don't deserve your energy nor your presence, pal number 1. The next card we have is old friend. Yeah, so that's why I was saying that this is a past energy, okay? Because it says old friend. So this could be something that recently just happened, but for others of you, I get that this happened a long time ago, but this pattern is still lingering because you didn't fully cut those cords and let go of that energy. When you don't let go of that energy, it still lingers. Therefore, it's going to attract similar energies. You know how they say it's the same soul but in a different body? It's the same way. I feel like you had old friends and partners and people just trying to control you, pal number 1. I feel like it was this power play of you trying to mold them and them trying to mold you. Okay. The next card that we have is by the lovely Janae Aiko, and it's called Everything Must Go. So this is a music card. And the song is Everything Must Go. So it's interesting that we're getting a lot of cord cutting energy and symbolism, but also this is saying everything must go. And in the song, Janae is saying, like, everything you think you know, everything must go. So that's why I'm saying liberate your mindsets. The things you used to think about, think differently. There are good people out there that can be your friend. There are trustworthy people that can be your partner. But it's all about what you can conceptualize, pal number 1. It's all about what you can conceive to be real in your mind. It's about you surpassing the limitations that you've set when it comes to close connections. So what is it that you actually want in a friend? What do you want in a partner? Because intimate relationships are highlighted for you, pile number 1. So the trees are asking you these questions like, what do you really want? Because it's possible. Anything you can conceptualize is possible. You just have to be at that frequency to meet that energy whenever it's coming in to greet you. Okay. So I have some channel messages as well, pile number 1. Let me read those for you so we can see what else the trees have to say to you. So also the trees want to let you know to not compare yourself to other people. And recognizing another person's beauty should never take away from your own. And also I'm getting literally, this is not a pun or anything, but this is what I channeled. The tree remembers, but the axe forgets. So this came through specifically for you, pal number 1, because you may have people at this time of your life trying to come back, people trying to do access checks and see how you've been. But the trees are letting you know to not accept people from your past. That's like accepting garbage. If you throw something in the trash can, are you going to dig in there to get it back? Most likely not. Okay. So let the trash stay in the trash, pound number one. Also, the trees want to let you know that relationships are supposed to transform you. You're not going to be the same after a friendship or a relationship because you're here to learn about yourself. And a lot of the times we learn about ourselves through our interactions with other people. Roses could also be significant here, the color yellow, okay? The song, "Consideration" by SZA featuring Rihanna is significant, and also cord cutting exercises, which we've talked about, and releasing people who have holds on you, because sometimes it's not even that you're really attached to that person, they're attached to you. So again, any type of cord cutting exercise will be very beneficial for you, pound number one, so you can let go of old energies and anything that's weighing you down. So thank you, pound number one. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for tuning in. Mwah. We're going to move on to pile number two. So, pile number two, what do the trees want to tell you? They want to tell you that you have done some heavy shadow work. So, congratulations for breaking those generational curses, pile number two, because it's not easy, especially when you're the person that's designated to break those curses. You have to experience that and feel that. And it takes so much because you have to transmute energies that you don't even align with, but it's for the greater good of your bloodline. So thank you so much for your services, pal number two. So let's get into the messages that the trees have for you. So the first card that we have is the Wheel of Fortune. So what I'm getting for you, pal number two, it's like you've reached the light at the end of the tunnel. So you've gone through this journey of discovering yourself and you've discovered yourself. I mean, there's always more for us to learn, but I feel like you've reached this plateau of your spiritual journey. And with the Wheel of Fortune being here, you've cleared out so much energy. You've cut out a lot of cycles that you freed up your energy to attract beautiful manifestations and beautiful energies into your life. So your fate is changing, pile number two. That's what the trees want to tell you. Things are working more in your favor, and you would even benefit by saying that. So when you wake up in the morning, pile number two, start saying that everything is working in my favor. And I promise you, it will do that. I've started to say that, and I noticed that things do work in my favor. So words have a lot of power. And the trees want to let you know that you can use words to change your fate. Okay. The next card that we have is the Ten of Swords. So the number 10 here signifies completion. You've completed a lot of heavy cycles. You've had to let go of so much, but you did it with so much grace, pile number two. And that's why you have so many blessings coming in. You literally have the blessings card. You have blessings coming in for how hard you've worked. You may have been the type of person that had to take the road less traveled. You may have been the type of person that had to sacrifice, material gain for, spiritual growth or, building a foundation for yourself. You had to let go of partying or, let go of buying expensive items so that you can afford what you needed for your future. So you've had to make a lot of sacrifices, and the trees realize that, but those sacrifices were not in vain, pile number two. Your harvest is coming for you. Okay. You've completed major cycles. You've broken cycles that have been in your family for generations. It's like, those games you play, and it's like always that level you can't get through. It's like you got through that hard level. You were able to unlock something new within your bloodline, pile number two. That's the tree's message for you. So you have blessings coming in. And not only is your fate changing, but it's like a domino effect. Like when things change for you, things get better for your family because you're clearing that energy. The next card we have is diligence. So the trees, they want to tell you, and also birds are significant. I want to say that birds are significant. Pile number two, so birds may come near you more, or you just may be a person who loves birds. Maybe you feed birds, or you have a bird feeder. But birds are significant. Birds are a symbol of God as well. So this is God being, close to you. Okay. But with diligence, the trees are telling you to savor life more, Savor life. Like, you know how people tell you to savor the food that you're eating because it tastes so good? It's the same thing with life. Savor life, despite our hardships because it feels so good. That's what the trees want you to do. Like, learn how to marinate in your experiences. Learn how to marinate in the present moment and enjoy your surroundings. Like, look at the sun. Look at the flowers, look at the people around you, enjoy it because you're never going to get those same moments twice. So enjoy your life, take care of your life. I know so much has happened, pal number two, but don't hate your life. Don't hate the experiences that have shaped you into who you are today because you needed those experiences for soul growth. Okay. I know they were harsh. I know those experiences didn't feel the best. However, you've grown so much in spite of it. Okay. So the next card that we have is Saturn. So you definitely have had, you could be a late bloomer, pal number two. You could be a late bloomer. The trees want to let you know that there's nothing wrong with being a late bloomer and having to do things on your own time because, truth be told, we don't have a timeline that we have to subscribe to, but society says we should. So a lot of people feel pressure to conform. But pile number two, the trees are telling you that you don't have to conform. You don't have to do what everybody else is doing. You don't have to live on an imaginary timeline. You have to follow your soul's path, and that's the timeline you're supposed to be on, not the man-made timeline you see on social media, not the American dream. It's about your soul's timeline. So you could have had restrictions and things you could do because you've been a late bloomer. Maybe you come from a family of poverty, so it was hard to do certain things, or you just come from a community where there's not a lot of finances and resources to achieve certain goals. But the trees are letting you know that circumstances don't really matter. It's about your intention, and you had the intention to break those generational curses. So whether or not you feel as though you won, because there's this energy of you sometimes, pound number two, feeling defeated. You've won. You've won. Despite the harsh experiences you've had, you've won. This is your confirmation, honey. You've broken some generational curses. That is a fact. And I know it's left you feeling exhausted and it's left you feeling like what is this? But better days are coming, pound number two. Happier moments are coming for you because you've had to sacrifice so much. You're going to get blessed for how much you had to give up. That's what's going to be given back to you. Okay. The next card that we have is the eighth house. So you you have to do major transformation. Major. The eighth house is ruled by Scorpio. This was a major transformation. Breaking generational curses are major because it's not for the weak and it's not easy. So the trees actually want to applaud you on breaking those generational curses and adding ease and peace and tranquility into your family. I feel like you broke a lot of these generational curses by speaking up against things that, could be seen as traditional, but are abusive within your family. So for some of you, I'm picking up a family where, like, for some of you, I'm picking up you come from a family where young girls are pushed into adulthood early, and you broke that cycle by not wanting to do that, by not wanting to be so young being married, because there's something about some type of conservative culture or religious culture here where you're pushed into marriage early, or you're said that you're a woman very early. For some of you, okay, take what resonates, but it's like you broke the curses by doing something different, by actually waiting to get married or waiting to have children here. Okay, take what resonates. You've broken cycles. The next card that we have is Capricorn. Yes, you worked very hard. Capricorn is that boss energy, okay? So the trees want to let you know that, you did that. It's like they're being, like, playful, pal number 2, but it's like, "You did that. You did that. You really did." It takes a lot of effort to do shadow work, and not only that, you're doing shadow work, but you're also trying to break generational curses that didn't begin with you, while other people around you that contribute to those curses are just chilling. It's like you're having to do your labor, but also their spiritual labor. So again, you are heavily being applauded because this took you some years. This could be something that was going on for years. And maybe for some of you, you had to get a degree and it stopped you from, experiencing life because you had to get that degree and focus on that, or you went to school for a trade. Take what resonates, because for some of you it's like you feel like, well, I'm this old and I don't have this and that, but what timeline are you supposed to be on? It's your soul's timeline. You don't need to be on anybody's timeline. The next card that we have is Mercury. So continue to use your voice. The trees want to tell you to continue to use your voice. And yeah, some of you may have gotten higher education here, and that's also how you broke a generational curse. Maybe you're a first generation college student. Maybe because I am, honey, and that's a good thing, okay? But also you may be somebody who is just very educated. Maybe you come from a family that's not very educated. And you're the first one in your family to get a PhD or a master's degree or a bachelor's degree, or you have gotten certificates from the trade or the business you started, okay? Some of you could have started a business here with this Capricorn energy. Maybe you work for yourself and you've broken generational curses surrounding finances. Yes, also that. You've broken generational curses surrounding finances. But also with this Capricorn energy, it's making me think of like the nuclear family, and it's making me think of your father. So maybe you broke a generational curse that stemmed from your father's side, okay? Take what resonates. But back to Mercury, you're very intelligent here, and the trees want you to continue to use that intelligent and pass it down to the people in your family that are younger, because they are still figuring out who they are. So you learning what you're learning and passing those gems down to them is also going to be very beneficial for the bloodline to help clear out and alleviate those generational curses even more. So, pile number 2, consider yourself the catalyst for the shift in your family. Just pass down the good things that you know, okay? Pass down the good things. It doesn't matter if other family members disagree. Like if you have nieces and nephews, pass down, self love and morals and values to them. Teach them about loving themselves, teach them about empathy, because you may not have children here. How number 2, but if you do, teach your children this, and teach the older adults in your family too that are open to learning, because sometimes you may just have people who feel like, well, this is the way it's always been done, so we're going to do it that way. But I feel like it doesn't have to be done that way. And that's the energy you bring to the table, pal number 2. So again, that takes a lot of courage, because you have to be able to stand alone, because when you are breaking generational curses, you're going to be the one to scapegoat it. You're going to be the one that's targeted and talked about and seen as weird or odd because you want to do something different. But really, you're doing all of them a favor. You're blessing all of them. So in turn, pile number 2, spirit is blessing you. So the last card we have is tattoos. So some of you may have a tree tattoo here, and the trees are saying that it's going to be activated. So whatever tree you have on you, so let's say you have an oak tree, whatever an oak tree symbolizes, that energy is going to be activated within you. Okay. And others of you, you may be advised to get a tree tattoo. Maybe you've been thinking about it, because this was very random. But for some of you, like, the trees are also telling you like tattoos are a spiritual thing, so be mindful of the tattoos that you get. Like make sure you're getting something that means something to you and something that's valuable to you. And it's interesting that this came out, because I remember a long time ago I read somebody, and the there was a tree on one of my cards, and they had that exact tree like tatted on them. So for some of you, this tree that you're seeing on the screen, you may have a willow tree tatted on you, or you may just have an affinity for willow trees. Okay. Some of you may also be tattoo artists here, or you just have a lot of like nature tattoos, and the trees really like that because it's helping you connect to the earth. Because again, tattoos are spiritual. So whatever you have, like it's skin deep, basically. All right. So now let's get into the channel messages for you, pal number 2. So pal number 2, The trees also want to tell you to doll yourself up more, like get dressed and go out. Okay, so you may have been in an isolation period for so long, but you've been in this isolation period for so long to the point where you are okay with staying in, and the trees want you to get out more and you know go and experience life, go shopping, get some ice cream and some yogurt. Like, you don't have to do anything major, but you don't have to always be in the house either. Pound number 2. Also, slow down, take your time moving through life, savor life more. Savor your achievements. Don't be somebody who's trying to overachieve. That could be a message too. Don't try to overachieve, pound number 2. You don't have to overwork or overachieve. I got a notification on my phone, so that was a definitely a confirmation for somebody. The next channel message is, the smoke is clearing, more clarity is coming into your life, and you could also be undergoing a spiritual awakening at this time. Also, recognize the power that you have. And I feel like you may be feeling lighter because you've let go of a lot of heavy energy, pound number 2. Continue to use your voice, even if it shakes. Continue to use your voice and stand up for yourself. And the song, by Meg The Stallion called "Cobra" is coming through, okay? So, that's letting me know you have had a transformation, you've shed old skin. And Saturn is prominent, so you may be a Capricorn or an Aquarius pound number 2, or you just have a lot of Saturn energy within your birth chart here. But those are the channeled messages, and the last one is you're doing a great job. Cause you know that it's like a song, it's like, "Man, you doing a good job. You doing a good job." I don't wanna cuss on YouTube, but you know that song, that's what I started hearing towards the end of your channeled messages, pound number 2. So, the trees wanna let you know that you are on the right path, you are doing a good job. It takes a lot to be where you are, and stop being so hard on yourself. Nobody has made it this far in your family but you. So kudos to you, pile number 2. Thank you for tuning in. Mwah. We're going to move on to our final pile number 3. So, pile number 3, what do the trees want to tell you? They want to tell you not to stress so much and to relax into the unknown. God is not going to let you fall. So, as I'm looking at this image, it is so peaceful and dreamy. So, the trees want you to relax, maybe go on a vacation or take a day off from work or school or class. Whatever your situation is, take a day off. Do a spa treatment for yourself, like a face mask, because self care is coming through heavy. Self care, because you are overthinking and worrying about things you can't control, pound number 3. So the trees want you to relax. Maybe, go into a sauna or take a mud bath or go and get a pedicure or a manicure or go get your hair done or your eyebrows plucked or there's self-care coming through, like grooming yourself. The trees are encouraging you to do that so that you can relieve yourself of a lot of that stress. So the first card that we have for you is the Judgment. So the trees want to let you know that maybe the way you're assessing something is not completely accurate and it's making you stress. It's making you fear that something is not going to work out for you. You may be scared that something is not going to work out for you. Pile number 3, whether this is a job, a relationship, a status that you have or momentum that you're trying to keep. Maybe you're making content and you're trying to keep a momentum going up. Maybe you're trying to create something or paint something and you don't have the momentum. There's something about you trying to create and fearing that if you lose the momentum that you're going to lose the support. And that's why I'm getting God is not going to let you fall. The reason why things may be not working out is because you need to rest. You need to take a break. You need to take a break from overthinking and trying to control every aspect of your life. Pile number 3. How can you ask the divine for help if you're trying to do what the divine is trying to do for you? You have to allow the divine to help you. The next card that we have is the Star card. So yeah, somebody definitely could have an online presence here. Take what resonates because this is Aquarius energy. You could have an online presence. But with this Star card, it's giving the energy of You're worthy no matter what. Even if you're not putting out content, okay? Even if you're not working. You may resonate a lot with pile number 2, pile number 3. You may have thought about clicking on that one before you came here. So if you were drawn to that, I would definitely go check that out. Take what resonates, but it's like you gotta know that regardless of whether or not you're creating or you're giving to the world in some way, you're still worthy. Like your worth is not based upon what you give. Pile number 3. That's what the trees want to tell you. You're still a star. You're still beautiful. You're still golden. The next card that we have is Cancer. And I'm drawn to like the crabs on this card. So it's like you're in your shell. You're in your shell. It's like your mind causes you to go in your shell. It causes you to go in your head, and it causes you to get paranoid. So that could be something that comes up a lot for you. You getting paranoid and then you actually manifesting the things that you're afraid of into your reality. So you could be a Gemini here because we got a lot of Gemini energy and we did get Mercury in pile number 2. So like I said, you may resonate with that energy. But it's like the trees want you to come out of your shell and to relax. Maybe you should go by water, and there's water in this picture. Maybe you should go by water, go by a lake, and maybe you should drink more water to ground your energy so that you're not overthinking because there's a lot we cannot control. Pile number 3, but you can control your own emotions. And it's like the trees want you to calm your nervous system. Pile number 3. There's something about your parasympathetic nervous system, like tapping into that. It's one of the 2. There's like a sympathetic nervous system and a parasympathetic. I hope I'm saying that right because I learned this a long time ago. So it's like tapping into that to calm yourself down or finding techniques because you may be somebody who's very fidgety. Pound number 3, maybe you have ADHD. Maybe it's just hard for you to concentrate for long periods of time. So the trees definitely recommend some type of like therapy that can calm you down. So this could be actual therapy where you talk to a therapist, or it could be your own form of therapy. Pound number 3. Therapy is something that's subjective because it's about what's, therapeutic to you. It doesn't have to be what's therapeutic to other people. Okay. The next card that we have is Pluto, and look what it talks about: control. So the trees want you to surrender and to allow God to help you. There may be things you want to happen in your life, but you're trying to make it come towards you. You're trying to rush it. And the trees are saying, like, good things take time. Good things come to those who wait. So allow yourself to wait for those good things to come instead of trying to force them your way. Because what happens when we force things don't come our way? When you like think about runner and chaser dynamics, if you're familiar with the twin flame phenomenon. You know how they say, like, the person that keeps going towards them, they're going to run from them because you keep trying to get closer. It's the same thing with people who have like an avoidant attachment style and an anxious attachment style. It's like the anxious partner wants to get closer and the avoidant partner goes away, and the closer that the anxious apartment gets to the avoidant partner, the farther that the avoidant partner moves away. So it's like the same thing with your desires. The more that you try to force them, the more that they will move away from you. Pile number 3. So the trees are telling you to relax and trust. The reason why you can't relax is because you don't trust. You feel like you have to do everything. You feel like nobody's going to be there to help you. But God is there to help you. Pile number 3. You have to let go of needing things to go your way because what if God has a better way? What if things go better than you imagine? How can that happen if you only are focused on how your perspective would be? Pile number 3, the trees want you to consider God's perspective. Consider God's perspective. Consider what God may think, okay? The next card we have is Delight, and it's so cute because it's this bird here. And it's just chilling, eating a worm. So it's like savor the moments of your life. That's being reiterated because it came through more than one time. Savor those moments. Enjoy those moments. Okay. And this came through in pile number 2. I had to check my notes to make sure that's what I was getting. So you definitely may definitely be connected to pile number 2, and if you're not, just disregard that message and take what resonates. Stop and smell the roses. That's what the trees wanna tell you, pile number 3. You may be the type of person to get worked up if somebody don't text you back, like, you get very stressed out over, like, things that other people would consider small, but it's big to you, and pile number 3, that's valid, but what are some healthy coping mechanisms that you can find so that you're not engaging in anything that's bringing you down or lowering your vibration because you feel anxious? Pile number 3, you may have a family history of just being around a lot of anxious people or people who have anxiety, like, Pile number 3, you might bite your nails, or maybe you used to bite your nails, or you have people around you to do that, like family-wise, and it's something that seems to be passed down in the family. And there's a way for you to release that anxious energy, and it's by relaxing. You don't have to rush to do everything. You don't have to get frustrated. You don't have to do that. You can slow down. You may be sometimes forgetful, or pattern number 3, you may have be more frustrated with yourself because you're like, why am I forgetting stuff? Why am I not paying attention enough? And it's because you're not giving yourself grace. You're forcing yourself to do stuff. Allow yourself to relax, because then when your mind is slowing down, things come to you. Good ideas come to you. When your mind is slowed down, you can focus on the task and not worry about how long it's going to take. You're just getting it done and enjoying the process of getting it done. The next card we have is simplicity. And on this card, there's a feather. There's an angel feather. So the tree's message for you, pie number 3, is connect with your angels, connect with the divine, and know that you're not alone. You have to meet spirit halfway. You have to meet God halfway. Okay. And you don't have to make things so complicated. You don't have to get worked up over things. If you forget something, like, be more gentle with yourself. Pound number 3. Be more gentle with the mistakes you make in your life instead of beating yourself down for not being perfect. Because who is? Who is pound number 3? You may be a bit of a perfectionist, and it's like the trees are wanting to tell you, nothing beautiful is ever perfect. Like, there's this Egyptian proverb, and it goes, a beautiful thing is never perfect. So understand that, pound number 3. You're not perfect, but it doesn't mean that you're not beautiful. It doesn't mean that you're not a valuable individual. Perfection is not real. Perfection is a perception that we comfort ourselves with because, perfect is a concept. It's not real. It's a social construct, in my opinion. All right, the next card we have is Gemini. So you may have a lot of mental energy going on. So the trees would love it if you would meditate, or if you would go out in nature and just meditate and ground your energy and release what doesn't serve you. So you would recommend, not you would recommend, but I would recommend pound number 3 that you do some deep breathing exercises so that you can learn how to control your breath, because you are somebody who, you may live in that fight or fight mode 24/7. That's always on, but there are no threats around. So you want to turn that energy off, because whenever you have that energy on so much and you get used to it, when you finally relax, you feel like your body feels heavy and you're like, where did all this energy come from? Like, you could have been at home all day, but your body feels exhausted. It's because you put yourself in that fight or flight mode. So your body is thinking that there's danger and that there's threats and that they have to watch. But it's all in your mind. Pound number 3. A lot of this anxiety and fear, it stems from your mind. You fear failure. You fear that you're gonna fail, but you're not. You may experience setbacks, you may be rerouted, but it's never gonna stop you from getting to the destination. Pound number 3. The destination is still there. It's always gonna be there. It just may be different ways that you get there, but you're still gonna get there. Okay. The next card that we have is Willow, overthinking it. And it was interesting because I was typing this in my notes, that you're overthinking, and then I pulled some more cards and this card came out. So you are overthinking a lot. So aromatherapy would help you. Maybe get in a humidifier, a oil diffuser, a wax warmer. Like find scents that help the mind, like lavender, peppermint, sweet orange. Like there's different ones, rosemary. There's different types of oils and even candles that you could use to calm yourself down. Eucalyptus is a really good one as well. Maybe even tea tree oil. But get into, like, herbs too, pound number 3. Maybe you need to start taking some herbs. And I'm not a doctor, right? But maybe some herbs or, like, something for your anxiety. Maybe you should find something, and if you don't wanna take herbs, maybe you should try adding more foods into your diet that reduce anxiety, so that you're not stressed and worried because you might have a type A personality, pound number 3, and it's like you can have so much done, so much in order and still not be proud of yourself and still try to put yourself through that stress. So it's like the trees are telling you to acknowledge your success. So you're definitely pound number 2. But acknowledge your success and relax into life. You don't have to be on guard 24/7, pound number 3. The last card we have is ego. So the trees want you to know that you don't have to be in a prideful energy. And I was hearing the song Pride by Kendrick Lamar. So he's a Gemini as well. So that's just a lot of Gemini energy. And Rain the Biddy is a Gemini. So a lot of Mercurial energy, a lot of thoughts circulating. So the trees really, really want you to calm your mind. And with this ego being here, it's like accept help from the divine, like accept that people can help you. Pound number 3, like you may be somebody who's hyper independent. It's nothing wrong with being independent and having autonomy over your body and over your life and your finances and the things that matter to you. But it's a problem when you never let people help you and you suffer purposely when you could have been helped. Okay, pound number 3. So the trees want you to stop being so stubborn when it comes to allowing people to help you and bless you. You're worthy, all right? You may not have want to ask for help, pound number 3, because how people have treated you in the past, but not all people are going to throw it in your face, you know? Especially not God. God is not going to ever throw it in your face. Okay? So let's read your channel messages and we're going to get into that. So with your channel messages, pound number 3, the trees want to tell you to take it easy. Surrender. Let go of control, relax. You can't control the future, okay? Because you know why you can't control the future, pound number 3? Because the future is created by what you do now. The future is created by what you do in this very moment. So if you spend this very moment worried about the future, guess what's gonna happen in the future? You're gonna be worried about the future still because our moments right now, the things that we do right now, the habits that we create right now dictate the habits we're gonna have in the future. It dictates the moments we're gonna have in the future. So right now is creating your future. So you listening to this reading, pound number 3, is creating your future. All right. And it's up to you whether or not you want to change in the now so that later things can be changed. Also, don't take on what isn't yours to carry. Pound number 3. Don't take on what isn't yours to carry. And don't, if you know that you don't have the time to do something, stop saying you're going to do stuff for everybody. Like you may still be stuck in this people pleasing energy. You could be a Libra, how number 3, or have a moon in Libra, a rising, a sun, a Venus, a Mercury, but or a Mars. But it's like a lot of Libra energy where you're always trying to consider other people, but never yourself. And the irony is that you want God to consider you, but then you don't consider yourself. So consider yourself and honor the person that God made you to be, pound number 3. The next channel messages we have is it's okay to need help. Yeah, like I said, you may try to act like you don't need help, pound number 3, but it's okay to need some help. And there's something about the right side of the body, pound number 3, or just the right. Maybe you're right handed, but there's something about the right. Maybe your last name is right. Take what resonates. Also, you can't fix people. All right, pound number 3, you cannot. So, yeah. And also treat your body like it's your home, pound number 3. That's what the trees are trying to tell you. Treat your body like a beautiful temple. Treat your body as like a beautiful temple that a god or a goddess would live in, or just a deity. If you're non-binary and you don't, go by god or goddess energy, just this deity energy. Treat your body like it's a temple where a beautiful soul resides. Don't treat it like a dumping ground for other people's traumas, unhealed wounds, and projections. Don't allow other people's BS to bloom inside of you, because that's not what you want in your garden. Time number 3. You don't want other people's stuff in your garden. You want to plant your own seeds. Okay. I also channeled the song Shades of Blue by Lana Del Rey, as well as Control by Sabrina Claudio. But that was your reading, pal number 3. Thank you so much for coming to this reading. Again, please check out Mala's verse. Check out her YouTube channel. She's going to be doing a reading that's actually complimentary to mine. So this one I did was messages from the tree. She's going to be doing messages from the air, messages from the wind. Thank you so much. I love y'all. Oh, thank you so much, flower babies. I will see you in the next reading. Mwah.